What is up, kids? Little kids, we are so super duper excited to be back with you this week, and I am not faking this energy. I actually am really excited. You don't understand. I really like the story that we're going to talk about today. It's one of my all-time favorite stories, and if you've seen VeggieTales, then you know this story, okay?
You have to come up. I don't want to. Pastor Nicole,
Yes, Ziggle.
he won't come up.
Who won't come up?
Morgan, I told him he has to, but he won't.
Why does he want to come up?
He's scared.
Again, with the scaredness.
Yeah.
Okay. Mighty Morgan.
What?
Mighty Morgan.
What?
Do you want to come up?
No.
There's no one here.
There's everyone there.
Well, you gotta face your fear sooner or later through the series. So how about
you really do.
See? I think you just need to come up, Mighty Morgan.
You know what? I think that you were made for this exact moment that you could come up here and get over your fears. Yeah.
You know what? That is perfect, Ziggle. That's perfect. So, Mighty Morgan, why don't you just climb on up those stairs and let's go.
Fine.
You did it!
It's so frightening.
You'll be great. Don't worry.
Hi.
I think I'm fearful over the fact that both of you were up here at the same time.
Yeah, well,
Wow. So Mighty Morgan, are you ready for today's lesson?
I suppose. What's it about?
Well, before we actually get into it, what did you learn about last week?
I learned that you don't have to be afraid, that God will fight your battles for you, but I'm still so scared.
So you didn't hear the part that David was really small and he still did great and mighty
Yeah,
things?
I heard that part, and I'm small too, but that's why I'm so scared.
Okay,
I don't know how David did it.
Okay, I'm small too. I'm only 5 foot, and half of these kids that are watching are taller than me. Okay?
Wow.
But that doesn't stop me from being these kids' children's pastor.
It doesn't?
No.
Even though you're scared?
I am scared because they sometimes tower over me.
Oh, that's terrifying, and everyone towers over me. I'm a puppet.
It's true, but you can do this. You can do this, okay? Okay? So the first week we talked about Joseph,
Yeah.
okay? And last week we talked about David.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you remember the scripture verses from either one of them?
Oh, I remember the one was about a battle, and the other one was about Genesis.
Okay, so the first one was found in Genesis 50:20, and
yeah.
the second was found in 1 Samuel 17:47.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So actually, you're pretty close. Last week we talked about how the battle is not ours, but it's God's.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you don't have to fear any of that because honestly, when you ask for God's help, God's going to show up and help you and give you the strength that you need.
Well, that is pretty helpful. I'll admit that.
Probably not mighty like big arm strength,
Oh.
but he'll give you strength to help you through that problem.
Oh, well, that's a start, I suppose.
It
I
is a
wish
start.
I was stronger, though.
But you know what? There's a reason why you're like this. Like I said
Really?
last week, there's a reason why God created you like this.
Is there?
There
I don't know
is.
if there's any reason for me being here.
You know what? I think this is a great time to tell another story today.
Oh,
We
is
were
it?
going to talk about Samson, but I think we're going to go
Oh.
into a story of a lady named Esther,
Oh,
you know? And she was actually fearful too.
really?
She was, but you know, after a talk through and after a talk with God, you know, God helped her through a situation and she actually did a great and mighty thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're actually talking about Esther today.
Okay.
Okay, so again, you're gonna sit back
Yeah.
and you're gonna relax and you're gonna listen to the story, and then next week we're gonna see what you learned about it.
Okay, that sounds good, because I'm still really scared. All right.
See you later, my dear.
Goodbye.
Bye. Well, today we are gonna be talking about Queen Esther, and I hope you guys know the story. If not, this is your first time hearing it, this is gonna be great. The story of Queen Esther is such a powerful story.
Yeah,
It's
it
actu-
is. I'm here. Did that help? Did I announce myself good that time?
Again, no warning.
Oh, I was
No
trying
way.
to warn you, but it didn't work.
Yeah, it'll never work.
Oh, well,
Okay.
then you'll always be surprised by Mr. Ziggle.
It's like a
Ta-da!
party.
Ooh, and speaking of surprises, I have a surprise for you. So I
Oh,
heard we
no.
weren't talking about Samson, which is terrible, but I heard we were talking about a queen. So I
Yep.
have something for you. Close your eyes. There. Surprise!
A crown.
Yeah, because you are the queen.
Well, I'm not the queen.
But you are today. So put the crown on because you're the queen
Wait,
today.
so is that where this whole time?
Yeah.
This was not in the notes.
Well, I make my own notes.
Oh, great! Yay!
Yay! Everyone cheer her on. Give her queen emojis. I'm sure that exists.
No,
And
don't.
pineapple emojis too. I think she likes those. Hint, hint.
Don't. You like the pineapple emojis?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
So we were talking about Queen Esther. Okay. And do you know who? Well, let's backtrack. Esther, we're gonna call her right now.
Yeah.
Do you know about Esther?
Yeah, I know all about her. Her name is Esther, and she's a queen. Yeah.
Well, she wasn't a queen in the first book or in the first 2 chapters. Just
But her
yet.
name was Esther, so that's a start. That's
That
what I
is-
know about her.
That is a start. Okay, so do you know anything about anything else about the story of Esther?
No.
Have you ever seen VeggieTales?
No.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, if you guys have seen VeggieTales, you know exactly where this is going, so this will be fun. Okay? So, you never answered my question about who your favorite superhero was.
Oh, my favorite superhero? Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's Jesus. Does that count?
Yeah, sure, it counts.
Okay.
It
And
counts.
Jesus is my favorite superhero.
Okay,
But
it
my
counts.
second favorite is Mighty Morgan.
Actually, I think Mighty Morgan may be my favorite superhero right now.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll tell him later.
Oh,
Wait. I think he heard you. Okay.
Okay. So, today we're going to talk about Esther, okay? And she was just a beautiful young lady, okay?
Oh,
But in the story of Esther, it starts out where the king got rid of his queen
what? Why did he do that?
because she didn't make him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
What? That's a silly reason.
Well, that's the reason we're going to give right now,
Oh,
okay? So the king got rid of the queen. So in that time, the king needed a new queen,
oh,
okay? So the king thought he would go out and find himself a queen.
okay.
Okay, so if we were telling VeggieTales reasons or right now, as you guys know, they held a beauty pageant.
Oh,
Okay?
they were like, ooh, I'm the prettiest of them all. La 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 la.
So in this story, there is a story of an evil man named Haman. Okay, and
Demon.
he was the king's assistant.
Oh, that sounds helpful. He must
Okay.
have been a helpful guy.
Well, you'll find out the truth. Okay?
Wait, he wasn't helpful?
I can't tell you the complete story. You can't ruin the end of the story.
Oh,
Okay?
I.
So you have another man in this story called Mordecai, and he is Esther's cousin.
Ooh, I
Okay.
like cousins. I have a cousin somewhere. He's on Hulu Lake. It's an island.
Actually, my cousin right now is recording this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Hi, cousin. Well, you're not my cousin, but cousin Record. That's his name, right?
Keith.
Oh, cousin Keith.
Okay, so Esther was a Jewish girl who had been taken captive after her parents died, and she was an adopted family member with Mordecai, and he raised Esther as his own daughter.
Oh,
Okay.
that was nice of him.
Very nice. So King Xerxes,
Xerxes.
okay, anyway, King X
King X, that's much easier.
needed a new queen, and Esther was selected from the many young women.
How many?
Many.
How many?
Many.
How many?
Many.
1,000? A million? A trillion?
Let's just say many. It doesn't give a number, so it's just many.
Fine.
Okay?
Many.
So Haman did not like Esther because she was a Jew.
What's that mean?
A Jew is God's chosen people.
Oh, God's chosen people.
Yes.
That's nice of him to choose a whole people.
Yes. And he did not like Mordecai either.
Why?
Because he was also a Jew. And he was the cousin of Esther.
Oh,
Okay?
but why? Why didn't he like him?
Because he was a Jew.
Oh,
God's chosen people.
so Haman just didn't like God?
Basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a terrible guy.
Yes. So Haman decided to destroy all of Mordecai's people, which were the Jews.
Destroy them.
Destroy them, kill them, murder
Oh,
them,
you're
take
talking
away.
about more death?
Yeah.
Do all of your stories have death in them?
You know what? I think they do.
Oh,
I I think they do.
Oh dear.
So the king, X, was unaware that Esther was Jewish. She did not want her people to be destroyed, and she was afraid. Hear that, Mighty Morgan? She was afraid.
Yeah, listen up, buddy.
She was afraid if she asked the king to halt Haman's plan. She would die if she did not ask the king.
Wait.
Okay.
Oh, so why was she afraid just to ask him?
Because, okay, so technically she can't just walk into the throne room anytime she wants and ask King X whatever she wants.
Why not?
Because that's really not how it worked back in those days.
Oh, well, how did it work?
You had to be invited by the king.
Oh, so he was like, hey, 5 o'clock, my place. And then you were like, okay,
Yeah, pretty much.
all right.
Pretty much. Okay. But she did not want her people to be destroyed, and she was afraid to ask the king to halt Haman's plan. She would die, and if she did not ask the king, her people would also be destroyed and die, including her cousin Mordecai.
Oh, that would be terrible. He
So-
took such good care of her.
Yeah, so Mordecai went to Esther and was like, hey, listen, you have to save your people, okay?
Yeah, she does.
And so Esther didn't know what to do, so Esther prayed to God,
Oh, that's a good plan.
okay? And not just Esther, but also her servants prayed to God.
Oh,
Mordecai prayed,
oh,
and the Jewish people prayed.
all of them?
Everyone prayed.
Wow, that's a lot of prayer.
They prayed because they wanted to make sure Esther got the knowledge and the wisdom to do what God wanted her to do.
Ah.
Even though she was afraid to go into the throne room, she needed to overcome her fear, Mighty Morgan. And she needed to go into that throne room and tell the king, yo, stop it. Okay? So, as the story continues, the king finally found out what Haman's plan was. The king didn't like it. He took Haman and Haman. He hung Haman.
Wait, he what?
Hung Haman. Hung.
Like, from his toes?
No, so you know that game, Hangman?
Yeah,
Where you have to guess the letters. Every time you don't get one wrong, you do the body on the thing.
Yeah.
Really terrible game to play. It's kind of like that. So he took Haman and he hung him.
what? That game, but in real life?
In real life.
That's an actual thing?
Yeah, so Hangman.
Haman
Hangman.
Hangman?
Hangman.
Oh, that sounds like a great game, actually.
That's-
But wow.
That sounds like a terrible game, actually. But anyway, Haman died being hung, and the king didn't like it. So the king decided that he would listen to Esther, and the king and Esther saved all the Jewish people.
Wow,
hmm
that's incredible.
That's very incredible. And
So, wait, so she just went into the king without an invite? And he was like, yo, you're not gonna die.
well, I'm actually going to read that to you, okay?
Okay.
So Esther had to actually put a request in to see the king,
Oh.
okay? So Esther put on her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the palace in front of the king's hall. And the king was sitting on his royal throne in the hall facing the entrance. When he saw the queen standing in the court, he was pleased with her.
Oh.
So he held out his golden scepter.
What's a scepter?
We'll just call it a plunger for now.
What? A plunger?
Well, you know, it looks like one. But like once you raise it, that means you're allowed into the king's throne.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he was like, hail, Esther, come in.
Pretty much. So Esther approached, touched the tip of the scepter, and then told the king what she wanted.
Oh.
Yeah. So she still had to request a visit to the king, but the king heard everything that was going on, and the king took her side.
Wow.
Yes.
That's so great.
But that leads us to our memory verse today. Okay? So we are going to Esther chapter 4, verse 14. And it says, it's a long one, but it's a good one. For it says, for if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place. But you and your families will perish, and who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time like this.
Oh, that's like what I said to Mighty Morgan. I was like, you're here for this time so that you can get over your fears.
Exactly,
And
and
help people
Esther
out.
was there
Wow.
for such a time to save her people, the Jews, the chosen people,
Wow.
from being killed, destroyed, murdered, hung, all that jazz. And she did it.
That's awesome.
Even though she was afraid, she walked into that throne and she was like, yo, I'm the queen and this is what I want, king.
Wow.
And the king listened to her.
That's so cool.
And she overcame her fear. She overcame her fear, Mighty Morgan. Is he still listening?
Yeah, he is.
Well, we're gonna wrap this up. So anything else you would like to say to the kids?
Oh, yeah. So, remember that no matter what happens, that God has a plan. And maybe you're in that situation for such a time as this, so that God can use you in a big way, even if you're small. Yeah.
You know what? That's actually a really good thing to say perfectly, because right now these kids are watching with a lot of different family members, all these lessons. And they're
that's true.
watching with family members that aren't saved and family members that are saved. And the thing is, they're watching these, and right now these videos could be helping other people besides children.
Oh,
So you could be doing a great thing right now, and you don't even know it.
wow. And I think Mighty Morgan's doing a big thing too.
Yeah, so all of us are here for such a time like this.
Wow. That's so great.
So do you want to close in a word of prayer?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Close your eyes and bow your heads. Dear God, we thank you so much that no matter what happens, you have a plan, and that you put us all where we are for such a time as this. And we thank you for Pastor Nicole, and for Mighty Morgan, and for Pineapples, and for Mr. Reuben, and Miss Carol, and all the boys and girls, and anyone who I missed. Amen.
Men! Well, thank you so much for joining us for another awesome lesson today as we talked about Queen Esther. We can't wait to see you guys next week as we talk about maybe Samson this time?
Oh, I hope so.
I think so. But we can't wait to catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.